Hey, what's going on? Hope you're having a great day. Yuri back with you here in a special episode in which I want to share 3 mistakes that I've made in my business that I would rather you avoid. And yeah, I believe that it's okay to make mistakes, and that's how you learn, that's how you grow. And I believe success is the end result of a journey that is filled with striking out. If you think about this, the best baseball players in the world of all time, like the Babe Ruths, all those guys, like their highest batting average on average was I think like 340, 350, which means they strike out or don't hit the ball 7-ish out of 10 at-bats. So imagine this. You go to bat 10 times and 7 of the 10 times you don't even hit the ball. And yet, you're one of the best baseball players of all time. So, a little bit of context. In business, for whatever reason, and I do actually believe that this is a result of the current landscape we live in of immediate gratification and seeing all these images of success, we think that it's going to come instantaneously, where we think, oh my God, I did this thing and my idea didn't work. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. I can tell you that I've launched hundreds of offers into the marketplace over the past 14 years. Most of them didn't work, but the ones that did really did. So I think it's giving yourself the permission to make mistakes is important as a leader, as a business owner, someone who wants to succeed in life, not just in business, but in every aspect, right? If you're a kid learning to read, be okay with learning to read and making mistakes and not knowing how to say certain words. That's part of the process, right? So 3 of the mistakes that I've made in my business that I want to share with you here, I think will give you hopefully some perspective. If you're making these mistakes right now, then please reach out for help because we can help you avoid this stuff. Okay, first and foremost, the biggest mistake I would say was being too scattered and building something that was way too complex. So I'm going to refer to my original health and fitness business when I started back in 2006. I didn't know what I didn't know, and I had no plan, I had no direction, I had no guidance. So I just thought, I just thought to myself, you're smart, you'll figure this out, right? Yeah, okay, good luck, right? 3 years of struggle, poverty line income for 3 years, doesn't really work out too well. So one of the things that I had this belief about was, well, I just need to create more stuff, right? So I create this product for 47 bucks, launch it, not fully maximize its potential, and then move on to the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. Because I had this belief, and I don't know if this is what I heard at the time or maybe years later, the company that has the most products wins. And that can be true, right? That can be true. But I think it's an important consideration to remember that the company that has the most products may win if that company has the resources, people, and capacity to create and release and maximize those products. So Procter & Gamble, they have, I believe, 18 billion-dollar brands. Okay, so like the toilet papers, the laundry detergents, 18 separate billion-dollar brands. Now, is Procter & Gamble one person? Is it 2 people? No, it's not. It's probably thousands of employees at this point. But Procter & Gamble didn't start like that. Procter & Gamble, like every other company in this world, started with 1, maybe 2 people who said, I have this idea, let's go out and do it. Naturally, your business becomes more complex over time. But if you start with complexity out of the gate, it becomes really, really challenging to grow. Because if you don't know how to build a business and your business already is very, very complex, if you have too much going on, if you're doing too many things, it's very, very tough to get beyond that. And it becomes overwhelming, you feel burnt out, you end up doing a lot of activity, but little productivity. Like you're not effective, right? You're not doing the things that matter most because you're just busy doing a lot of stuff. And that's why with my first business, we probably have easily north of 100 products, which means 100-ish funnels. And how many of those funnels are cranking, right? Not many of them, because we just kind of jumped ship onto the next thing before we fully maximize those. Healthpreneur, we have 2 offers. And the second one, we don't even offer to the public. So it's one offer. And that's it. So the business is so much simpler. And what that allows us to do is to go deep and really figure out how we can best support our clients at the highest possible level, instead of saying, hey, how do we release the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, the next product launch, the next, like, it's too much. It's ridiculous. So my superpower, ironically, is simplifying complexity. So when I built a business that was very complex, I wasn't really working within my genius. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So the mistake to avoid is keep things simple. Okay, you can build a very, very lucrative business by being simple. And in fact, you have to simplify to multiply. Okay, think about that. It's not necessarily about adding more stuff. It's about doing what you're already doing at a much higher level. All right, second mistake, and this is actually something I currently still am working on, is doing too much in the business. Like, I love what I do, right? I love what I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I do 3.5 hours of very productive work. I could technically be done by the time my kids get up. I could be done, right, if I wanted to. But I don't, because I enjoy working. But what I find myself, I think most entrepreneurs can relate to this, is it's your baby, right? It's your baby, and you don't want to relinquish control or a process that maybe someone else is not going to do as well as you, right? And usually, your biggest skill, your biggest strength is going to be your company's biggest weakness. Okay, think about that for a second. So my biggest strength, I would say, is marketing. Now, the challenge with that is that also becomes the cog in the wheel, because I, right now, I would call myself the chief communicator. So what that means is my ability to step out of marketing is a lot more reluctant than, minutia or other details or little things that I don't want to do, which I can hand off more easily. Whatever you're amazing at, the thing is, you want to build a business around you and your unique genius, right? Not necessarily just you, but obviously you want to build a business with people on your team who are all working within their unique genius and supporting each other. So if you're a genius, like what I do, I think, one of my skills, I think, is communication. So doing videos like this or podcasts and stuff is what I should be doing more of, because I enjoy doing this, and no one can do this because at this current stage in time, I can't clone myself. But this is probably a good use of 10 or 15 minutes on a daily basis for me, okay? But what about the other stuff? What happens to this video after I shoot it? Am I the one editing it? Am I the one putting it to the different platforms? Am I the one syncing it to Libsyn and iTunes? Am I the one creating the show notes? I'm not doing any of that stuff. But initially I was. And I did it at least once, and then created a process so I would never have to do it again. So your job as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, is to fire yourself continuously. Fire yourself from doing the graphics. Fire yourself from editing the written word. Fire yourself from editing videos, which, by the way, I actually still do sometimes. It's not, I shouldn't say that. Sometimes I have this idea for oh my God, I'm going to create a quick 30 seconds intro for this thing. I'll just whip it up in iMovie, right? That type of thinking is where we get caught into the weeds, and we go back into $10 an hour tasks, which hold us back. So you have to catch yourself. You have to say to yourself, man, is this really my unique genius? Is this the best use of my time? Or can someone else do this and allow me to move up, in my hierarchy of what I'm awesome at? I think for me, I am maniacal about speed. And for me, I would rather spend 30 minutes doing something than waiting 2 days to hand it off to someone else. And so that's something that, I've had to work on to say, okay, dude, does it have to be done right now, right? Or can you just build out a process for someone else to do forever? And if you start to think like that, to think about, okay, is this my unique genius? If not, let me create a process where someone else can do this. And if you want to do it the first time, cool. Get a sense of what's involved, get a sense of, what a good finished product looks like, but also understand if you're, let's say, making a graphic or editing a video, I promise you that is on the lowest end of your skill set as an entrepreneur, as a health expert. Give it off to a graphic designer. They'll do an amazing job, but just have clarity of what you'd like it to look like, or let them give you some concepts, and you decide, okay, this is what I want my stuff to look like. Please go ahead and make more of this stuff. We have a graphic designer who is so good I can send her a Google Doc and she turns it into this unbelievable finished product. And I'm like, that is what you want to find, where you don't have to give a lot of creative direction, where you can find someone who's amazing at what they do, who can take your vision and just make it real. So doing too much in the business has been one of my downfalls. And I think at the same time, I've also automated, optimized, and delegated a lot of stuff too. So I'm very, very grateful for the team I have around me who allow me to do stuff like this and not a lot of the stuff that I don't want to do. Okay, final mistake that I've made in my business was spending way too long growing my business free and organically. If you are watching this and you're a health expert or a fitness expert, and you have a gym or a brick and mortar practice, that's not free, right? You pay rent, you have equipment, you have overhead. But for some reason, when we come online, we think we can get away with the free stuff. Like, hey, I'm just gonna set up a website on Wix or ClickFunnels, or I'm going to blog forever for free, or post stuff on Facebook for free, and that's how I'm gonna grow my business. That can work, it can. That's how I built my first business. But 2006, when I started, was a very, very different time than now. Organic was easier to make work back then, but even then I had no clue what I was doing. So I was just doing stuff. I think a big mistake that I made was spending a lot of time doing that stuff. And when I say a lot of time, I mean probably in the space of 3 to 5 years. Okay, not 3 to 5 months, 3 to 5 years. I could have cut my trajectory to success, quote unquote, in half had I mastered the one most important skill that I fully believe that every entrepreneur using the internet needs to master. And that is paying to acquire clients. Paid acquisition, advertising, whatever you want to call it. Had I done that a lot earlier, let's say from day one, I would have gone through a trajectory, I would have gone through a growth curve, I would have made a lot of mistakes. Yeah, maybe I would have lost a little bit of money, but you know what? I would have learned a lot, and I would have had the control to know whether it was Google ads or Facebook ads or YouTube ads or anything else. I would have had the control of knowing that I could take that skill set and put a message in front of people, put some money behind it, and know that if people click on that, there's going to be an end result because I've mastered that whole process. And that's something we are fully behind in what we do with Healthpreneur. Like, we help our clients get a message in front of people they've never heard of or who've never heard of them. That's why a lot of our clients, they're not celebrities, they're not influencers, because they're just really good at what they do. And then we help them give Facebook a little bit of money, and then Facebook gives them clients in return at a nice ROI. And that is a skill set that you can take into any market. Like, if you wanted to go into dog training, food, like whatever, that's a skill set that you now have the ability to go into any industry, any market, any vertical and make work, because you control your traffic, you control your destiny. You're not at the mercy for a Google algorithm change, which overnight chops like half of your traffic. And the thing too, guys, in the natural health space, Google made a big change about a year ago, which penalized websites that are not from a MD with a board of advisors who are also MDs. So if you're like a DC, a DO, an MD, your stuff is not getting seen, okay? So don't spend money building beautiful websites. Don't waste your time blogging. No one's gonna see it. Don't create a YouTube channel. Listen, I have a YouTube channel that has 290,000 subscribers. I haven't created a video on that channel in 2 years, and we've added 100,000 subscribers in that time. Our Healthpreneur channel has videos like this that we add every single day or a couple times a week, and it has 520 subscribers. Right? So what I'm trying to say here is that you're competing against huge platforms that don't even have to do anything, and they're still going to get more visibility than all the hard work that you're putting into this. So learn how to acquire clients at a profit. Okay? So those are the 3 mistakes I've made in business. Hopefully you've learned a thing or two here. If you want our help, if you're a health expert who's coaching clients and you're not growing fast enough, you want to be able to scale your coaching beyond one-on-one, and you want a more predictable way of getting your dream clients coming into your business day in and day out, then go to workwithyuri.com right now. And on that page, you'll just answer a few questions to tell us a bit about your business, and then you'll be able to book in a time to speak with us. And we'll figure out, hey, we'll literally audit your business for free. Say, hey, here's what's going on, here's what isn't working, here's where you're bleeding some money, and we'll put together a customized game plan for your situation, okay? So go to workwithyuri.com, do that right now if you're serious about growth. And thanks for joining me. Hope this has found you well, and I'll see you soon. Ciao.